Beautiful.
Hello.
Well, welcome everyone to our Earn Through the Holidays entrepreneurial exploration that we're going to dive into today. My name is Kristina Amon, and I'm here with my co-host Rita Fleming. And I'm going to pass it right over to you, Rita, to kickstart us here.
Thank you so much, Christina, and welcome everyone. My name's Rita Fleming. I'm so excited to be here with you all. And I'm very excited about this topic that we're talking about because it's something that is near and dear to my heart. And I will share a bit of my story, but I wanted to open it up with a quote. Has anyone ever read the book or heard of the book, The Myth of Normal by Gabor Mate? I'm currently reading it and it's blowing my mind. It's amazing. I highly recommend checking it out. But he hit 2 points that I thought were really profound. And the first statement he made is the relative health of any life form is a function of its essential needs being met or not being met. And, and he says that humans have two basic needs: self-expression and a sense of belonging. So drop a two if you resonate or relate with that. Yep. And go ahead and just take a personal assessment. Do you feel like your self-expression is that you're able to really expand upon that and show that on a daily basis? And also your sense of belonging. If rating it from a 0, not really having a huge sense of belonging or not having a lot of self-expression, to a 10 being like, wow, I feel like I'm really playing full out in both of those areas. Go ahead and just rate yourself internally where you feel like you stand on both of those. And the other thing he touched on that I just want to speak to, and we're going to dive into earning through the holidays, but he wrote this and he said, a children's sense of security and trust in the world, interrelationships with others, and above all, connection to their authentic emotions hinge on the consistent availability of attuned, non-stressed, and emotionally reliable caregivers. The more stressed or distracted the latter, the shakier the emotional architecture of the child's mind will be. So, reflecting again on ourselves and our own situations, how many people felt like growing up, you were in a very safe and supportive environment, and maybe you didn't feel the financial stresses of your family. Maybe you did. Just kind of reflect and think back on that. I know growing up, my parents were amazing and worked really hard, and I often felt this underlying stress, the underlying financial stress and burden that they were going through, trying to provide for their children and also having to work unsustainable hours. And that, I don't know how many of you can relate to that, but that is kind of a product of our society and of our culture. And we don't really live in a system that supports that financial sovereignty and that time freedom where we can live with parents and caregivers, or ourselves as parents or caregivers, where we feel like we have that relaxed nervous system. So I just wanted to reflect on that today because these are huge, essential pieces. And the foundation of what I'm so passionate about in this work is being able to set people up with a calm and peaceful nervous system so that we can set our children and our future generations up for success in ways that we're just now starting to understand the implication of this, through such things as education and trauma healing and awareness. And so one of the things I want to bring to the table is, what would it look like to live in a community where our basic needs are met? We're also feeling that full expression of our personal self-expression, authentically expressing ourselves. We also have that sense of belonging and we have our needs met, our foundations met in our health and our finances and our community and our environment and where we want to live. So this is the discussion we're going to get into today. And this amazing platform that we're going to be talking about has been the vehicle for me to be able to create those solid foundations and be able to get my gifts and my voice and my expression out to the world in a way that I wasn't able to do as a solo entrepreneur. So this collective and this community, we've partnered with this beautiful company called Purium, who is working to transform our food system and working to transform the way in which we work, the economic setup of our society. And so Purium, what the company, the owners are Amy and Dave, they're the founders, and they're just visionaries. They care so much about people and about the planet. And they realized that there was this massive lack in our systems and that we didn't have access to nutrient dense foods. And only 1% of our foods are deemed nutrient dense due to our modern agriculture practices, which include fast farming, overproduction, and the use of heavy pesticides and chemicals, which actually kills off our soil health. And our soil health is the foundation of our health. And if our soils are depleted, then as humans, we're depleted. So addressing food is a huge piece, and in that, we're addressing health. And one of our main programs that we're working with here is called a 30-day transformation, ultimate lifestyle transformation, where we're able to give access and flood people's bodies with these nutrient dense foods. And for me, 3 days into the program, all the lights came on in my body. I felt this peace and this safety, my hormones balanced. And after 90 days, I was able to get back to an athleticism I hadn't been in since high school for 15 years. So that's huge to come home to ourselves just by getting back to healthy food systems. And the next piece of this was I was also able to make this a business. And my background is in regenerative health, and I was looking for ways and solutions where I could make a larger impact and help more people. And working as a solo entrepreneur, I just couldn't get solutions out to enough people. I couldn't make the impact that I wanted to. And so, in partnering with this amazing company, all of a sudden I was able to collaborate in different business partnerships and get these resources and these solutions out to more people. And in doing so, it's given me time freedom and financial freedom. And I just learned that I'm in the top 6% of female income earners in the US. And that's by sharing solutions and working in collaboration instead of competition. So a big part of my why and why I wanted to open up the call in this way with those questions and leading and pointing to Dr. Gabor Mate's works is because this has been such a solution for myself and my family, and being able to provide that sense of safety and peace and nervous system relaxation while not only nourishing my own body and like giving myself, fulfilling my own needs, but helping others to really meet those basic needs and find freedom not only in their health, but in their financial well-being as well. So today we're going to be speaking a little bit more about this community and this opportunity for business partnership or collaboration. But I wanted to share a bit of my story. And Kristina, I want to pass it to you to share a little bit of your story as well.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Rita. Are there any other parents here who, when you heard her talk about how that well-regulated, stress-free parent is offering this optimal situation for their child to grow up in, and kind of had that thought like, well, I'm not there yet, but I'm working towards it? Drop a 3 if you can relate to that, because that was definitely, I've I love the words you used. I want to hear you repeat them when I'm done. But it's that idea that we're called a transformation company for a very, very clear reason. The transformation that we experience through these superfoods on the physical level is really just the beginning. That cellular transformation and the transformation that we experience in this business community by acknowledging that there's a place in our life that we want to be in, we're not yet, and making that bridge to arrive at that place is a profound transformation. And I can definitely say that in the 6 years that I've been a part of this business community, probably my number one goal has been to become that parent for my own children. And I feel teary even saying those words because it's so significant to what world we're creating when we raise young humans with that safety, with that presence. And it certainly isn't what I've inherited. It's certainly not the toolkit I was handed. And yet, here I found a community and a platform and a set of tools to do that deeper work and transform that and become that parent for my children and myself. And it takes time and it does take resources. So, a similar story to Rita, I got started 6 years ago. My husband and I had the vision of creating a sanctuary on a piece of land, permaculture, regenerative agriculture retreat center, probably on some deeper levels to reparent myself and then turn around and offer that opportunity for others who would be weaving with us in this sanctuary. And if anybody else has gone down that path or can probably just think logically for yourself, which fortunately I didn't think logically back then, I just naively jumped into it. It actually requires quite a bit of resources and financial resources that we didn't have. So we really got to a place where we were looking for a financial solution. What is some kind of quantum leap we can make from where we are to where we could actually create this? And in the attempt of creating finances for this beautiful vision, my husband went and opened a brick and mortar, and that really was taking up most of his time. He often was working 80-hour weeks. So the intention for bringing him home so that we could see our vision come to life and bring our family together and have those relaxed nervous systems and have that financial support to really show up in as the parents that we want to be, as the in the marriage that we want to have, as just humans upon this glorious earth that we want to recreate and play, and then pillars of our community that we can give back and really provide food and medicine and gathering spaces for all of this education and celebration and healing. The vision was clear. And that is when this company came into my life. And I was able to see that through this leveraged income platform, I could, even though I had no experience, even though I was, full-time mom with two small children and husband gone most of the time and spending a good amount of my time still working the farm, I was able to create this abundance and do that inner and beyond the finances. Although I will say the finances have now been pouring into the renovations of structures on the land, upgrading the solar system, all of the off-grid infrastructure, vehicles, lifting our quality of vehicles so that we have safe, reliable vehicles, clean burning, clean fuel. And offered us options, for the kind of education and opportunities we want to give our children, for travel, for being able to help family members and support other people in the community when help is needed, as well as continue to see our vision flourish on the land. And it brought us together. It's given us our time back. My husband celebrating working, he's down to 1.5 days a week at his brick and mortar and working on reducing that to 0 by the end of the year. And we're really centering having fun with our children as the top priority and with each other in our lives. So that is what the financial piece has done with us. But I want to add this other layer. And let me know if you can relate to this. I had a conversation with my parents yesterday, and they were like, "How are you doing in your business? How are you doing financially?" And I was kind of able to update them on some of the latest things. And they said, "Okay, well, when we have this family gathering in the holidays, you might not want to mention some of those things to your sister. It might just not land in the right way." And that what I realized in that moment is the transformation that I've undergone to be able to have the capacity to bring so much abundance and be able to offer so much abundance outward is something that has more than anything caused a shift in my consciousness. We call it abundance consciousness, where it's truly coming from a place of, or when I compared myself to my sister, I could recognize from being there previously the fear, the jealousy, the judgment, the assumption that wealth must have something to do with greed or, doing wrong by people, these distortions with wealth. And it is the deepest transformation that we can undergo, and one that I deeply wish for all of humanity, is to accept wealth into our lives, not for the material. Although we see what resources can do to shift how resource management is happening on the planet, but more than anything, so that we can stand in our own truth as human beings and know who we are, know what we're here to give and to serve, and to be an asset and a contribution and a gift in the lives of other people, and not to shrink from that. So that even when my parents said that, I didn't shrink, and I'm not necessarily going to shrink my energy for my sister. I'm sure it may be triggering. I don't need to go into details. I saw a great quote the other day: success is like underwear. It's a great tool, but you can keep it hidden under your pants, or something like that. The idea is like, we're not here to boast. And when we tell these stories to you today, it isn't to boast. It's to open doorways of possibility. Because if I hadn't heard about this, if I hadn't seen other people in this community creating the success in alignment with their core values on their own terms, I would have never known something like this was possible. I would have still thought money equals sacrifice, money equals compromised core values, money equals greed. I would have thought those things. And this community, this platform, undergoing the fire of becoming a leader and actually walking these steps, has transformed me into somebody I really love more than ever before. And that is gold. That is a treasure beyond the income statement. So I just wanted to share that, because undergoing the wealth transformation, it's not easy. And I really wish it. And it doesn't even mean money. There's people who manifest and money isn't ever part of the equation. It's all the same. It's stepping into, I am a powerful being and I'm here to do great works upon the planet. And that really is what brings me to these calls, is to, may this message and may this voice echo in someone's ear who hasn't yet chosen to take that step. And we're going to tell you how to get started with us if this is resonating. But that is really what brings me here, is that may somebody else awaken to the possibility of what you can do to fully live out your purpose of what you were born to do here. And all the support in the world is here for you. We work as a team collaboratively, and it's amazing. So I want to bring on a mama who has joined our community very recently, has an incredible story. I'm deeply inspired to work with you, Erin, and to have magnetized you onto our team, and to be supporting you in your beautiful visions that you have for what you're doing for your family, for your community. And take it away. We're so excited to hear your story, and congratulations on your recent success.
Hey everybody. Can everybody hear me? Okay, awesome. This is my first time talking on a Zoom with a good amount of people. Okay, I was gonna set a timer. Okay, so my name is Erin, and I am. First, I just wanted to thank everybody for being here and just welcome you to sink more deeply into the present moment with me. um, so my name is Erin. I am 20. I keep forgetting how old I am. I'm 24 years old. Um, I have a 16-month-old, and I'm almost 42 weeks pregnant. It's felt like an eon. Um, my husband and I, a year and a half ago, we moved from Canada. I'm from California, he's from Canada. So we met in Canada and we moved here a year and a half ago to Standing Rock because our good friend, who we actually hadn't met in person, but we've been connected with, has been living with the Lakota tribe for 5 years. And he's been just helping them and living with them. And he's not Lakota himself, but he's been um, adopted into 5 different families here at least. I forget the Lakota word for how they do that adoption process, but he began his journey with the Lakota Nation when he helped at the No Dapple movement. I'm sure many of you have probably heard of it, protecting the sacred waters from the pipeline they were going to build. He's had bloody lungs and jaw broken and really sacrificed himself for them. So we came here to be with him. He told my husband, we're going to build a self-sustaining hemp community. I need you to help manage it. My husband has growing experience. So a year and a half ago, we show up here, and at that time, it was very few of us with a very big vision to create a community here and eventually a self-sustaining community on the land. But the finances were nada. My husband and I didn't have finances. We were living in a van. My husband ended up camping for a week in order to set up our $4,000 for 2 mobile homes. You can imagine how much work had to be done on them. So I have spent the last year and a half since being here experiencing a lot of financial scarcity. And I grew up very blessed financially, in my opinion. So it's definitely taught me a lot about the nature of true abundance, and that true abundance isn't money, but at the same time, how much suffering happens when you don't have the resources you need and needing to um, worry about what you're going to eat for dinner and especially what nutrients you're getting. So you can imagine once this whole year I've been dreaming and wanting some way to make money that feels really aligned. I don't want it to feel like I'm extending past myself. I want it to feel natural. I want it to feel fluid, that expression of your innate abundance. So I tried another network marketing opportunity with a high ticket product and it didn't flow. It didn't feel aligned. Um, I didn't make any sales, no success. But I didn't get down on myself. I knew this was I've seen network marketing leaders and I see them and I see that it's a path that is so powerful and you have to be a visionary and you have to hold a strong vision. So I'm like, okay, how do I become that? I heal myself. So I focused on healing with the intention in mind of becoming a large network marketer earner as time went on so I can lift up my community and bring more finances in. So because I'm having a baby, a month ago, I knew I wanted to start some sort of business opportunity. Where am I at in terms of time? Oh shoot. So I knew I wanted to start some sort of business opportunity, and I thought I was going to start after my birth, but I was super nutrient depleted. I needed more nutrients. So I reached out to a friend of mine, and I'd known about Purium, and my mom actually gifted me a beautiful pack. And immediately I was like, oh, well, I might as well do the business. And the more that I shared about it and the more that I experienced the change myself and I didn't have to stress about food, oh my gosh, it lifted so much off my shoulders. But at the same time, so much success was just coming to me because this was it. This was so aligned. And there's so many things I love about Purium. Is it okay if I go a couple minutes over?
Yes.
There's so many things that I love about Purium, but like the main thing that stands out for me is how grounded it is. I keep seeing myself growing roots into the earth. It's not something you're selling that's way up there. It's not some like fancy thing. It's what everybody needs, and that's what makes me so passionate as a mother to give it to my daughter, and I want to give it to my whole community. And there's so much vision around that. And then just how aligned it has felt this business opportunity because of that, because I love that it's accessible. It's not something that's way up there in the price points. It's something I can serve my whole community with. So now I've made back my initial investment at least 5 times, and I didn't put a lot of effort. All I did is put heart. I just followed my inspiration. That's always been my intention. So when you set an intention for 6 months, it's kind of bound to manifest. I didn't want it to be this hustle and grind type of thing. I still have a lot of that energy, that hustle and grind, but like in a positive way. Instead of feeling like I need to do anything, I just shared from my heart and shared from my heart. And now my husband goes and helps this older Lakota woman who um she hasn't been getting good nutrition. She has rheumatoid arthritis, and he's making her shakes every day. She got herself a transformation. So it's just filling me up in so many ways. And I'm so passionate about this opportunity and what it can do for you. And like Kristina said, who it can make you into, because that's truly why we do the work we do. We're not here to make money. We're here to create a vision and create the finances to manifest that vision, but we're also here to become who we want to be. Like, regardless of whether you make the money or not, I say don't do something unless you're going to become the person you want to be doing it. So that's really what this is about, just as much as it is about the money. So yeah, it's been a beautiful journey, and I'm grateful to be on this journey and to grow into the person I want to be through it, both internally and then to create what I want to create financially.
Woo, Erin. It's amazing to hear your story and your passion and your heart. And I just want to thank you for sharing all of that and also gifting these gifts into your community. It's really powerful when you can bring nutrient dense food into areas where there's food apartheid or where there isn't access to fresh fruits and veggies. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart
I
for
need to
all
go
that.
hand out biomedics to everybody here at some point, because the glyphosate here is the worst. They're
Mhm.
purposefully poisoning these people worse than everybody else.
Yeah,
There's a big
yeah,
mention here. And I
yeah.
know Dave actually brought some superfoods to Standing Rock, so that was a cool connection.
He did. He did bring superfoods to Standing Rock, and we also have a nonprofit that is to really fund people that maybe cannot access these nutrient dense foods and get it into their hands, and also start building the business. So rather than you're rather than just bringing somebody to water, you're also teaching them how to fish rather than doing it for them. So that's really empowering and amazing. And I'm so glad you're connected into this community. And for those of you that just want to dig in a little bit deeper into learning more about this, connect in with the person that invited you here. And, the opportunity and ability to get started really starts with your own health transformation. So we have the most nutrient dense, the highest quality, the highest purity superfoods. They're grown in 99 feet of topsoil, which is completely unheard of. As Erin was talking about, we have a solution to get glyphosate out of the body. It's the only clinically proven solution. And chronic diseases and conditions have been raising at the same rate as glyphosate exposure. And glyphosate is everywhere. It's in our food, it's in our water. It increases the inflammation in our body. It destroys our gut. It destroys our ability to absorb our nutrients and our amino acids, which are our building blocks. So there's so much power in rebuilding and regenerating our bodies. We're also rebuilding and regenerating the soil. And all of our packaging is plastic free. And, all of the top income earners are women. We're really a woman led company. And that's inspiring to me because 90% of the world's millionaires are men, only 10% are women. So it's really important that we can get these resources into our communities and into the hands of our caregivers and into the hands of more women, because it's proven that when women and caregivers have more resources, we reinvest it back into our communities. So I always say, imagine what the world would look like if those statistics were flipped and 90% of the millionaires on the planet were women. Like, what would that look like? What kind of world would we live in? Would we have more built-in support where we're not, having to trade dollars for hours and, not being able to be with our kids? Different things, start thinking about it. So, a way that you can get started is one, just connect back into the person that invited you here. They deeply respect and care about you, and there's somebody that, they'd love to work with you. So connect in. You can try our 30-day transformation, up level your own health. And if it's something that you like, you can upgrade and get the business for free and be able to share these solutions with your community, with your family, with your friends. This has completely transformed my life on every single level and brought me home to myself. And as Erin and Kristina were sharing, this is really about that personal development of who you become throughout this process. And this business in particular has been the deepest personal development work I've ever done. And it's allowed me to move through limiting beliefs that I've had for, that were generations deep, and be able to step into a larger capacity of my voice and my larger gifts and my greater vision and purpose here on this planet. And this is meant to be a platform to help you leverage, your deeper calling and your deeper passion by helping us to leverage our income and work in community and work in collaboration. So again, just connect in with the person that reached out to you or invited you here and learn more about our transformation kit, and also about, the possibility of linking arms in this partnership, in this collaboration, to not only up level your health, but up level your community. And when we work together, there's nothing that we can't do. So thank you all so much. Kristina, is there anything else that you wanted to add? No. All right. Well, thank you all for being here, for taking the time. If you could just put in the comments one takeaway that you have, or any spark of inspiration, or something that you're walking away with from this call, I'd love to hear some feedback. And I can also open it up to questions.